7,300 pounds, one owner, and originally sold right here at Haylett RV, a 29 BH Whitehawk coming in on trade for you. Pretty late model, so you're naturally asking, why are they swapping out of it? Short answer is because they saw the 284 BH OK Eagle HT, which is like basically this exact same floor plan, just on steroids, and they thought, I'd like that. Let's take a look here, because this thing overall looks pretty sharp, and I think someone's going to be very happy with what they get here. If you're trying to upgrade to something with a slide from no slide, or if you're wanting a shiny laminated bunkhouse trailer, but you don't normally have a shiny laminated bunkhouse budget, this one's going to slip in there nicely. With the wide stance axles, that will help it stay within the realm of a lot of half-ton towability. Some half-tons won't be appropriate to handle this, and as always, towability things kind of vary a little bit on the specific trailer and vehicle in question. So if you have, if you're not sure about that, please just let our team do the job of putting safety before the sale and making sure you're okay. And I also want to do a quick housekeeping note. As we go through this camper, you're going to see 8 or 10 spots of like blue tape through it. These are little, basically like warranty items that we're going to be taking care of here at Haylett RV before you take the camper home. They're things that we just hadn't got to yet from the previous owners. They said, you know what? How about I just make this your problem? How about you guys fix that stuff? And how about you get me into that new Eagle? And we said, great. Now, a lot of places won't show you the behind the scenes stuff like that. I'm not afraid of tackling those things head on here at Haylett RV. I've never said that I think every RV is perfect. I've never said any RV that we carry is ever perfect. But the difference here is that you get to see that the glitchy things that we're talking about in this, they're like trim. It's not like, oh, the floor studs are falling apart. The thing's built solid. It just has a couple pieces of trim that need tacked back up in place. We're going to have all that done for you. All that shake down new RV stuff will be taken care of, so when you take it home, it's just going to be ready to go, and you and your family can just build some memories. And really, other than just the modern updates, like a little bit different dinette table, like the changeover to the option for the modern farmhouse decor, not a lot here has changed in comparison to like even a new 2021 generation Whitehawk 29BH from Haylett RV. Whew, that's a mouthful to say, by the way. But hey, that's how the boss likes it. What we're getting here, we're getting a big super slide. Now, here's the thing. This is what I think is a really true super slide. You've got like a near 7-foot U dinette with a free-floating table that can fold down into a sleeper, or you could put that table over in front of that tri-fold hide-a-bed for like a little bit of a dinofa situation right across from the entertainment center and that tow-warming fireplace with the itty-bitty little shoe garage under it, which I think would be nice to keep your slippers warm when you want to pop them on. And I call it a super slide because a lot of times you can either get a big dinette and a small sofa, or a normal dinette and a big sofa, but here you're getting both. And that's one of the reasons Whitehawks are a little bit longer and heavier than a lot of other people in this class. Everything on them is a little bit larger. The lighter weight brother of the Jayco family would be the J Feather. Something similar to this might be the 27 BHB that we carry here. All the windows open for airflow. And again, you're going to see a couple of these little spots of tape around. Our service team has already gone through, identified things that need just a little bit of a touch-up, and that's all we're talking about here is really just a couple little pieces of trim that need some adjustment. And I think one door striker plate, the thing that, you know, catches the doorknob, basically, that little flapper doodle thing that pops out. That's all we're talking about here. Overall, this is just nothing major, but you folks deserve to know about that stuff. I don't believe in hiding the history of an RV from a potential owner. I always want to shoot you straight and get you all the information that I possibly can. Stepping past that sliding privacy door, we get up to our bedroom. That is a true queen bed, by the way. And if you take a real close look at these dual hanging wardrobe closets, you'll see that they have that hanging bar, but there's also a shelf in there. The shelf is removable. Some people don't care about hanging clothes. Some people want more shelf dresser space, and this lets you kind of pick your poison. Now, those window shades, those draw shades, are a little different than what you find in the rest of the RV. They're a kind of up-down blackout shade. Now, they're not like like a slow rise on their own roller shade. They're actually a manual up-down. There are some benefits to that, though. It lets you put that shade exactly where you want it. Sometimes you want a little light, sometimes you want to block it out. It'll let you do either here. Now, obviously, you have that spaceship-looking front windshield on this thing, but that night shade right there can help keep a ton of that sunshine out. But if you're looking at those nightstands I was talking about earlier, you see how there's a pocket up by the headboard. It's a very nice place for some personal effects that in the today's modern Whitehawks, there's actually a household outlet back there for a lot of like CPAPage kind of stuff. Now, right over here, we have behind the closet door. Let's talk about the closet first. You've got yourself some extra hanging space so that if you do want to leave the two bedside stands as more like t-shirt and jeans dresser spaces you can, although you've got dresser drawers down to the floors over here. You've also got yourself like a little get ready mirror inside that. And if I get a little bit closer, woo, motion lighting. Then if I shut this, you can see that there is a direct entry door here into this bedroom. Now, you can see where the previous owners put some of that Reflectix, kind of keep the sunshine out. I want full privacy over that smoky glass window, that clouded window. If you wanted to, you could pull that down and get some extra light, but this is a good way to keep the bedroom of this thing a little bit cooler. Now, some people don't like a door straight to their bedrooms. Remember that that has the same deadbolt as your main entry door, which is actually flipped right now. I suspect that this door didn't actually get a lot of use from the previous owners. And in case you're curious, directly across from the bed, yeah, there are absolutely some TV hookups. I like that accent lighting down there below the seating. You see that on both the dinette and the sofa. It kind of reminds me of like air traffic controller lighting, so that if you wake up at night and you need to see your way to the bathroom, you just follow the light. You just, it's like, Carol Ann, step into the light. Whatever happened to that creepy lady with the weird voice from those movies? She just kind of disappeared. Did she get sucked into the television? Is she gone now? Is that the TV she got sucked into? I mean, probably not, but, there's a chance, right? Now, this thing has over here a nice pantry, and that is something a lot of bunkhouses often lack. And the reason that pantry is there is due to that larger slide out. And you're going, wait a minute, what does that pantry have to do with the slide? Think about it. If the driver's side of the camper over here is longer, then the passenger side of the camper has to be longer to go with it. So that longer slide is actually the reason this thing has such a good kitchen. That is an 8 cubic foot two-way fridge, by the way. This is made before 12-volt fridges really found their way into the RV industry. And you see that solid surface countertop right here looking good with the stainless inset sink, kind of like fifth wheel sort of features. Plywood drawers down here. High-rise sprayer faucet with a pop-up power tower. This is all pocket-screwed lumber core cabinetry, by the way. And kind of like they did in the bedroom there's a skylight in the bedroom, but the folks had sort of stuffed a pillow in it. Well, here there's a nightshade that you can pull over that. Let's take a look at the bunks just as long as we're sweeping through here and interrupt our regularly scheduled storage footage. So, it's a common double over double arrangement, but you see that down below here, we've got that kind of cargo space. Notice that ladder actually buckles closed at the bottom, so it's not going to, jitter and jive all around the place when you're going down the road. Now, something else I want to draw your attention to, starting up here, separate curtains for the upper and lower bunks. And you see how, that's the bunks there in sleeper mode. Now, one of the things I like about this a lot right here is I'm basically just a Toys R Us kid. I am a big kid at heart. And I think one of the things I would do with my kid on a rainy day is I would leave that drawn shut. And we would play like shopkeeper owner. Well, maybe less now that my daughter's 10 years old, but when she was younger, we'd go to the playground, and instead of sliding around on the slides and I almost said sliding on the swings, that would be stupid, but you get the idea. Playing around on the equipment, we would find something with like a shelf, and she would pretend she was an ice cream shop owner. And so, like, every time I see a little shelf space like that, I always think, I wonder what, WWCD, what would Chloe do? Now, this could be a pantry. But right next to the bunks, that's begging to be packed with kiddo clothes right there. And I tell you what's really handy? One of those bottom two squares right there, stuff that sucker full of like socks for your kids. I don't know how they do it. Kids have this ability to shed socks like kids shed, like snakes shed skin. There we go. It's hard to say on the fly, coming off the top of your head, My point is, you won't regret having socks right there. Now there's also storage below the entirety of the dinette. And remember here that that table is free floating. So if you want to kind of swing that around, fold it down for big sleeping, or again, move it over here in front of the sofa, a little bit of Dinofa movie entertainment action. Now the bathroom over here runs right next to the bunks and actually extends a little bit further. And by making, it's a little thin, but it's nice and long. So like you've got decent leg room by the stool there, you got room to stand and get dressed. And the way they did this shower is very uncommon in the RV business. You've got that rack on the right hand side where you can stack up and rack up all kinds of towels. But this bigger radius shower is on the inside wall of the bathroom, which most manufacturers don't do. And Jayco's done this because that is the tallest part of this vaulted ceiling. So you combine that with the skylight and suddenly big tall goofballs like me can fit in this thing no problem. And normally I start at the front of the trailer, but I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to break ranks. I'm walking out the door. This is what you're going to see first. Why don't we start here with the camp kitchen? Now, it's a nice low-profile camp kitchen, so it's given us that extra fridge space and a real sink with a real drain. Now, you can see that's not like the dog dish variety. Some handy power outlets out here, too. Now, this was made before a lot of those like stable step jobs were offered, but it is stable step upgrade capable. So if that is something you're looking for, you could swap these, basically leave those steps flipped up and put a set of like MoRide or LCI stable steps for your main entry door here, or don't, just leave them as they are, which is fine. Actually, there's some benefits to these. So like if you're at a storage facility where the campers are parked really close, sometimes you can't get them stable steps flipped down. Sometimes these things are handy. Now, we are riding on the Goodyear Endurance radials here. Jayco had adopted that by the time this was built, and you can see the wide stance nature of those. Here's the best way I can describe it. I'm going to try to not make you seasick. We're going to point straight down, guys. So if you look at my feet and my ugly brown shoes, what are those? They are right next to one another, and if I get pushed sideways, I'm going to lose my balance and I'm going to have to shift. Now, put your feet a little bit apart. If you get pushed sideways, you can manage that. That's not exactly what these are doing, but it's a pretty close approximation to give you a decent idea. The logic behind this is that the trailer will get less sway and wiggle and bounce when you're going down the road because of that, and it works quite well indeed. Outside TV hookups over here match the TV hookups in the bedroom. So if you do add a second screen to this camper, you could very easily have it like work in multiple zones of the RV. Now you'll see that this thing has power awning, power tongue jack, and it was optioned with all 4 corner power stabilizers as well. So everything is push button simple. You might also notice how all the lights are LED. There's no incandescence here. Not a normal like a slam latch, and not the same lock that everybody else has. And if we get down in here, you can see under that bed a nice pass-through compartment. Not to mention you've got your own 2-foot by 4-foot picnic table included. And if you really wanted to, you have space over here for another of those mini fridges. That's what this space and that power outlet in there is actually designed for. White Hawks originally, the very first White Hawk, already had a mini fridge there. But on a camp kitchen model like this, they moved it back to the camp kitchen. Man, the look of this thing. This was one of the first years that they did away with the blue striping on the White Hawks, which I actually thought looked pretty sharp, but I know a lot of people really like what they see here. That being said, I can't really deny it. And here's something else I thought about. The 3 most popular truck colors out there are white, black, and silver. And this is going to look good behind those. Even if you got a blue truck. Actually, previous owners had a blue truck. Or if you had a red truck. Or some other kind of truck. I don't care. Whatever color. Primer color truck. It's still going to look pretty darn good. By the way, the underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated and nicely insulated. During this generation, Jayco had never climate tested a White Hawk, but you know what they found out in recent years? They discovered the White Hawks are actually 0-degree capable, just like an Eagle. Now, they hadn't made any changes to accomplish that, and considering Jayco themselves wouldn't make that promise when this was built, I don't feel it's right if I make that promise. But the data's there to support it, so I guess form your own opinions a little bit. She's backup camera ready. She's got the J-Smart lighting package. Frameless windows was another upgrade applied to this one. If I recall, I think this might have actually been custom built this way. I don't know that we stocked them necessarily exactly like we're seeing here. Something else I hadn't mentioned is behind the Super Slide, there's a black tank flush and an outside camp shower. And on the rear bumper, just above the license plate, which admittedly is an odd location for it above the license plate, there is a gas grill quick connect. Now, of course, there's a gas grill quick connect for the camp kitchen too, so there's actually two here. So I guess you could have two different cooker things going on. It's just weird that it's not over by the camp kitchen, right? And I hope you appreciate the fact that I'm willing to say things that sometimes I don't like about a camper or aren't right about a camper. I don't pull punches here at Haylett RV. This is an expensive purchase. I want you folks to know exactly what you're getting. And I want you to know the ups and the downs and the in-betweens, the goods and the bads, because there's nothing like buying something and then finding out after the fact it's not gonna do the thing or how you wanted it to do. By the time you're done with us at Haylett RV, you're gonna get your second camper the first time. That's what we're gonna do for you. By the way, solar prep up here on the roof, and Jayco's Magnum Truss roof system, that plywood roof decking and the heavier roof trusses to give them the heaviest in-class roof load rating. Not something you can usually find every single day of the week since, most people don't build the way Jayco does on the roof. So that's my wide stance on this one. And if you have some more questions or anything, or if you just see something you like, leave us some comments here. I'll do my best to help out. And anything I can't get done, we'll get a salesperson in touch for you and get all those things taken care of. Now, if you need things like hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, a truck and a trailer for a package deal, we do all that stuff here too. We're a one-stop family-owned shop. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone. What are those?